Okay, this is me testing myself, recording the charts as I go through them. So we're learning to trade the FX markets. So I currently have a lot of currencies on the various tabs on the windows. I'm just going to go through them and see what's happening. I've already filled out a lot of the information. So on here we've got the Euro US dollar. As you can see on the 15-minute chart, Euro US dollar, I've currently put in my major supports and resistance, or other way around rather. Support at the bottom here and resistance at the top. Previous support / resistance in purple. The general market of the Euro US dollar was down. General preference was down when we went to the 4-hour chart. The general consensus is it's going down or reducing. So our general trend is down, and then we're going to bring that down to we'd work our way through them, tightening up these bars. But since I've already done that, we're going to go straight down to the 15-minute. There we go. I do have a lot of windows open, and the computer slowed down when I'm recording the screen, so just bear with me. So, as you can see here, we've marked out a major support at the bottom here, green, and major resistance at the top. But as you can see, the Euro US dollar continues to come down, so either the euro is weakening or the dollar is strengthening. I suspect the dollar is weakening. But anyway, so came down here, bounced, broke through this mini level support resistance there, did a bounce, just see the bounce there, went up, bounced, so from that point it was either going to spike up, or as it was, had a big dip down, but then had a big engulfing green candle straight after. Very long wick on that red one, which implied obviously it was bouncing up. You can see from there it continued to bounce up. Nice long green candles. It actually broke through a previous resistance. So my expectations now, you can see my squiggly line here, is to come down below my previous resistance, test that resistance through the support now, I suppose it is, isn't it? Test the resistance, and if it fails to break through, then we'll be on a downtrend, and that would be my opportunity to take a short around about here, the stop loss somewhere up there, and that down there give me a 3 to 1. Of course, if it doesn't break through this and do the bounce, which will be obviously a bit further along this way, it may go straight up. So that's my analysis of the Euro USD. And then the next one here, we have the Euro to the Japanese yen. So when I went to the 4-hour, my general consensus was it was actually on a downtrend overall. But you can see it's changing downtrend and is in a short-term uptrend, as signified by this lovely purpley pinky wire there. So I have an uptrend here. And we don't have many support lines drawn on here. We have one there, a few of these minor support lines, and a major resistance there. So currently we're just watching this one. because it's on an uptrend. I thought I'd taken a chance on that, obviously not. It's on an uptrend and it's broken through the support level there. So we're just actually watching it, see what it's going to do from there, because it could do anything. Okay, the next one, this nice clearer, a lot cleaner. This is the Australian dollar versus Japanese yen. And as you can see, it's currently below the EMA 20 line, but seems to be consolidating up and down between these levels here. So obviously we don't trade consolidation normally. 0.27%. We could have taken lots of nice trades there, but it's not what we're looking for. So we have a breakout here above support, above the resistance. Sorry, my bad. So currently we're just waiting to see what happens with this one as well. It looks like we've had a bit of a bounce and a wiggle. That might be a slight uptrend. So we've drawn on this temporary line to see if it breaks through that line, or whether it returns to support before carrying on up, or of course coming back down. If you go to the 5-minute chart to have a closer look on this one, it's unclear. Yes, you can see the bounce lines here of all my green support. Maybe we could bring that up a little bit to it. There you go. So it's clearly broke through, clearly bouncing on there, a bit of consolidation. So we don't know what it's planning on doing at the moment. We're suspecting it's going to bounce and go up if it goes past this minor support line. Then we may well take a long position, which would be a long position. So it'd be after it passes this pink line here. So around about there. Stop loss would be down to the bottom of the previous candle, which is around about there, with a few extra pips just for good measure. And then we want more than 1 to 1. Oops. So we'd have to go 1.5 minimum. There you go. So we won't take that yet, but when we're ready to, we would create a limit order. And that'll fill in all the information over here. The units are normally about 200 whilst I'm learning. So we would obviously buy at that level with a target and a stop loss there, as you can see. Take profit, stop loss is automatically filled in. And that would give us 22 pence profit and 15 pence stop loss. So that's just one we're watching at the moment. Moving to the next one, we got the US dollar, Canadian dollar. I tend to find the Canadian dollar is weak, as is the Australian dollar. But the US dollar is weak at the moment. So this chart's coming down, which would imply that the US dollar is weak. As you can see, we had a bit of side consolidation between the support and resistance levels. This is the 15-minute chart again. And previously it was on an uptrend. Only a slight one now. So it's broke through support here. Come down to the next support level. It's currently broken through that, so we're looking to see whether it does this, whether it does a nice bounce and a retest. If it fails to retest and comes on a downtrend, somewhere past the purple line here, depending where this, how far this bounces down, we'll come in with a nice short position here. So we can right click on that and select create order, and that comes up with connected to the Oanda account. Set my units to about 200 normally. So it would be a 49 pence profit on the short, which is 1.44 on there because we haven't actually set a proper level. And a 34 pence risk. It's quite a risky one that. We'd like to tighten that stop loss up a lot, but until it's done the bounce, we don't know the actual figures. We'll probably have to look back for previous support, but there doesn't seem to be any time recently. Okay, so moving on to the next one. we have the Euro Pound. It's one of my more favourite ones to trade. No particular reason really, you just get used to different ones. As you can see, we've got a bit of a sideways consolidation between these at the moment. That's obviously something I was looking at before. Now this one was slightly different because we've been looking at, I'll bring this into view, the EURGBP open orders and open positions, which has been helping me plot out these charts here, these dotted lines. So I could see that we had a lot of buying pressure down here, I think it was, or down here, wherever it was. I think that's updated since. And then a lot of selling pressure. Let's just move that back out of the way. So hence the dotted line actually correlates with the buying pressure, and the red dotted line correlates with the selling pressure. So that actually goes in line with my support and resistance levels that I'd already put on. So it's just an extra confirmation that we're in the right range here. So currently we have taken a upwards trend trade, I think, from that one, and made a few pence. So you can see we've got a bounce now. So it's bouncing off that level, returning to that level. So it may come down from here now. Of course it might break and go up as well. So we're waiting to see what that one does at the moment. If it starts to break down, we'll do a short position below these previous spikes of candlesticks. Stop loss can be quite tight in this one, possibly their maximum, with a all the way down. I wouldn't go that far because I don't push the luck, but you can always follow it with a stop loss if you plan on watching it. If you're not watching it, it's overnight, you can set the stop loss, the profit line a little bit tighter to these previous levels here. And that would be a 2.4 ratio win to loss. Okay, moving on to GBP, USD. As you can see, I've been watching this one as well. And we put that there just to see what range we'd have if it continued up, but we didn't have much. So it's actually good for it's bouncing down. We actually want this really to break back through, retest, and come down. Because if it comes back down, bounces, and goes back up, we don't have as much range in here. Because we wouldn't be able to take the trade until after the previous candles there. So it'd give us a tiny 0.12%. Whereas if we got to break through, retest, and come down, we could probably go below here on a short position and get a nice 0.14% down to there, which isn't much different from the 0.12. But if we go through this support down to this previous level here, we get a nice 0.24%, which would be far better. Okay, moving on quickly to the last two now. Now I've marked this one up. This is the Euro New Zealand. We had a bit of consolidation here, quite nice clean pattern. And I think I spotted potentially head and shoulders, but who knows. As you can see, it comes down to the base here, returns up. There's a shoulder, there's a head. So I've drawn on the extra lines here to see whether we get another shoulder. And if it continues down, past the support line of the shoulders, then we're going to come in for a short position here, just below that level, with a ratio of 1.8. But although we can't set a stop loss until we've seen exactly where that shoulder goes to. So we could get a 1 to 2 ratio short on that one. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll try and update you with more videos as the charts update. Thank you. Goodbye.